Today, we are talking about scary movies you probably ain't heard of, but you gotta check them out. The first movie we got to talk about is Grave Encounters. If you ain't heard of Grave Encounters, hey man, you gotta check that one out. That movie there thrilled, man. It's about this film crew who pretty much go around and try to catch paranormal things on tape. They have never really caught anything paranormal, but you know how those shows are, try to make things spooky, but this time, oh shit was real. When I tell you the jump factor is at a minimum because now they base things off jump scares. When I tell you I was genuinely scared in that movie, bro, and I don't know why I don't have that much recognition. That movie is actually scary as hell, man. So if you are into horror and you really like horror, I really advise you to check out Grave Encounters. The second one too. But make sure you check out Grave Encounters 1 first, okay? That is a good one, man. That's just, in my opinion, top tier horror. Check it out. Today we're talking about scary movies you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check them out. Part 2. Today's movie we're talking about is Ouija 2. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I love possession movies, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a real big fan of slashers like that, but I love me a good demon movie, and Ouija 2 is a great one. It starts off with this family who pretty much gets paid to have seances so people can talk to dead loved ones. Now, for the most part, it's all staged. So, in order to spice up their shit, the mother decides to buy a Ouija board, to make it seem a little bit more real. And you know what happened? Shit got real. The scare factor in this is amazing. From the special effects even into the genuine tension of the movie. I would give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. Don't watch the first one. Do not watch the first one. I cannot reiterate this enough. Do not watch the first one. Even though it has the lady from Insidious in it, who's actually pretty dope. What's her name, Elise? I don't want to get her name wrong, but even she couldn't save it, But for the most part, Ouija 2, you gotta see it. It's fucking awesome. Today we're talking about scary movies you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 3. Stop saying Hereditary is one of the best new scary movies of all time if you have not seen the VHS franchise. The VHS franchise is a series of found footage shorts written and directed by somebody named Adam Wingard. I don't know who the hell he is, but my butt throwed. When I tell you that movie got some scenes in it that will leave you disturbed after it cut off, especially the one with the demon coming out from the cult. Man, I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they were filming that one. But I know when they was done, bro, they had to get prayed over or something, bro. VHS has about 3 or 4 sequels, and each one gets more and more twisted down the line. I'm telling you, whoa, check it out. Once again, we're talking about scary movies you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check them out. Part 4. Now listen, I may get some backlash from this. A lot of people haven't heard of this. And when they do, it's either really good or really bad. But in my opinion, I like it. We talking about Hell House LLC.
Thing is always the whole shebang. Sarah?
The film, which was shot as a documentary, follows a group of Hollywood haunted house creators as they try to prepare for a 2009 opening of a popular haunted house attraction. You can tell that this movie didn't really have a big budget, but that does not take away the fear. That movie, the overall tone, atmosphere, even the way it was just shot, scary as hell. It was times, without even showing any gore, it still scared you. The overall atmosphere and the things leading up to it is amazing. If you're just sitting here bored one day, if you're just sitting around bored one day and want to watch a really good scary movie, I encourage you to watch it. There are 3. Second one, I didn't really like the second one like that. But the first one and the third one, masterpieces. In my opinion, you need to check them out. For real. Today, we're back with a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 5. In lieu of the upcoming holidays, I'd figure I'd get my Christmas special out the way. So, we talking about the one, the only, Krampus. Krampus is a 2015 American Christmas horror comedy based on the character Krampus. In the film, a dysfunctional family squabbling causes a young boy to lose his festive spirit. When I tell you at first I thought this was another corny-ass Christmas movie. Boy, was I wrong. That movie gets dark quick. When I tell you just the overall atmosphere, that thing is dope. Every character played their role in that movie perfectly. Even from Krampus himself, whoever is in the makeup department, kudos to you. And not just Krampus. His minions, each and every one of them were scary. They had their own attributes. Like, it was crazy. I don't want to spoil the movie because I would highly encourage you to watch this one, because the overall scare factor in this is top tier. Especially for like Christmas themed horror, because they got some really corny ass Christmas horror movies. We ain't gonna talk about them. We might later on, but not right now. But yeah, y'all check it out. Once again, we talking about scary movies you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check them out. Part 6. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably seen this horror movie on a lot of streaming networks, but you probably didn't click on it because you thought it was some bull. Shit. This movie actually dope as hell, man, and you need to check it out. We talking about The Autopsy of Jane Doe. The Autopsy of Jane Doe is a 2016 supernatural horror film starring a father and son coroners who experience supernatural phenomena while examining the body of an unidentified woman. I'm talking about from the beginning to the end, that body went crazy without even moving a muscle. I don't want to just spoil the movie because I really want you to watch this. But the whole theme of the movie is just dope. The atmosphere is dark the entire time, and it's something about that damn bell that just makes it even more scarier. I'm talking about that body at the end when it gives that twist to show you who she really is, brings it all together perfectly, man. That shit is top tier horror right there, man. And that's what I like to talk about. Just top tier shit. And that one is definitely top tier. Okay, so if you sitting at home one Saturday, you ain't got no plans, nothing to do, cut that movie on. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Once again, we're talking about a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 7. Now, when it came to the name of this, I thought this was going to be a lame ass movie, but I'm really glad I stopped and really watched it, because now this is one of my top 10 scariest movies of all time. And I know that's some big shoes to fill, especially coming from my point of view being a horror fan. I'm talking about the movie Clown. Clown is a 2016 American supernatural horror film directed by John Watts. It follows a husband and father who donned a clown outfit for his son's birthday, but for some reason he cannot take that motherfucker off. Coming into it, I thought it was going to be cheesy as hell, but boy was I wrong. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that suit, but the history that leads up to it is dope as hell. The lengths that man's wife went to help him. I don't want to spoil the movie because I really want you to watch this like for real. But the premise of it pretty much is the man has to eat children to survive. And you would think with that being the reason, he wouldn't go around eating kids. Shit. That man went crazy, even up to the climax of the movie when they were in that Chuck E. Cheese location. Come on now. A children eating clown demon let loose in a Chuck E. Cheese type situation. It was fucking crazy, man. I'm telling you, that movie went there. When I say it had some scenes in that movie, I was like, damn. Oh, damn. I'm telling you, that movie really pushed some buttons, man. I'm surprised it didn't get boycotted, man, because that shit went crazy, man. They went above and beyond to make sure you knew that clown was evil. And as it progressed and he got more and more evil, and he looked more and more demonic, you was like, yeah, y'all gotta kill this man. Like, fuck that. And I want to know, if your significant other that you've married to turned into a demon, would you help them out? Would you really help them out? I don't think I would. That's a lot of responsibility. But though, the wife did a thing, you know what I'm saying, taking up for her husband. But still, you got me fucked up. But anyway, man, y'all make sure y'all watch that 2016 Clown. Once again, we're talking about a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 8. Now, coming back to this, because you know I had to come back to it. We did the first one, so we had to bring it back with the second one. I'm talking about Grave Encounters 2. There it is. Grave Encounters 2 is a Canadian supernatural horror film directed by John Poliquin and written by the Vicious Brothers. It is a sequel to Grave Encounters and follows a group of devoted fans of Grave Encounters who break into the same psychiatric hospital where the first film took place to investigate whether or not the film was real. The way they shot this made you think that maybe this motherfucker real. I ain't even gonna lie. Even at the end, I'm not gonna spoil it. At the end, they flash something on the screen really quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, at the end, they flash some coordinates. Just look up those coordinates. And once you look up those coordinates, read the backstory behind those coordinates. It's gonna fuck with you. But whatever they did on the first movie, they amplified it on the second. I'm talking about they even brought back some people from the first one to further solidify the creep factor. And they did it flawlessly, man. I'm talking about the first one had me on the edge of my seat. But the second one, man, shit. The second one, I ain't even gonna lie. When I got done watching that, I had to watch some cartoons after that. Because I was like, what the fuck? These special effects, the jump scares, the tone of the movie, everything was done so perfectly. You would have sworn this is like some Insidious type level scares. I'm telling you, like this some Conjuring type level shit. In my opinion, this franchise is more scarier than both of them. You don't believe me? Check it out. Welcome back to a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 11. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen this trailer way back in 2012, I was like, okay, this movie looked dope and said, I gotta check it out when it dropped. And when it did, I made sure I had to watch it when it dropped, and I was not disappointed. We're talking about 2013's Mama. Mama is a 2013 supernatural horror film directed and co-written by Andy Muschietti. The film follows two young girls abandoned in a forest cabin fostered by an unknown entity that they fondly call Mama, which eventually follows them to their new suburban home led by two adults after their uncle retrieves them. I'm not gonna lie. The whole movie premise really just had me thinking. If you were dating somebody and he or she adopted two kids and you seen supernatural shit happening, would you still stick by that person? Because you got me all the way fucked up. But anyway, just the whole story is written beautifully. You know what I'm saying? I'm really sad that they didn't come back with a sequel or a prequel, something to, you know, pretty much break down the entity of how it became that. Honestly, the whole time, I thought it was their mama. But apparently, it was just an entity that was tied to that place. That's what I'm guessing. I don't think it was their real mom. But though, I'm not gonna lie, man, the ending is sad as hell. I'm not gonna spoil it. But that ending really fucked me up, man, for a lot of damn reasons. It's a great movie. You know, if you're sitting here one Saturday night, or when you get off work, when you get out of school, you ain't got nothing to do, and you really want to watch a captivating, scary movie, then I suggest you watch that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, Mama ugly as hell. She's ugly than a motherfucker, but she's scary as shit. You know what I'm saying? So I suggest you guys sit back and actually watch that movie, alright? Once again, we're talking about a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you need to check it out. Part 11. Now, the only reason why I cut this movie on, because I seen it had my boy Donald Glover in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of him. But I'm glad I watched it, because this movie kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time I watched it. We're talking about The Lazarus Effect. The Lazarus Effect is a 2015 American supernatural horror film directed by David Gelb and written by Duke Lawson and Jeremy Slater. At a university, a pair of married medical researchers have developed a serum called Lazarus, intended to assist coma patients, but have shown to actually be able to bring the dead back to life. Now, what a lot of people don't know is this movie is actually a remake. Check that out too, if old movies are your thing. The entire movie, I'm telling you, it has a good premise, you know, because they're trying to bring dead loved ones back to life. They started with a dog, and they were able to bring the dog back to life. My boy Evan Peters, man, he knew something was wrong from the jump, and he tried to tell him because something was wrong with the dog after they brought the dog back to life. I tell you, I'm really mad that that movie didn't get as much recognition as it should, because to be honest, it's actually a great movie. Great special effects, great acting. Everybody really played the hell out their part. So if you're not doing anything and you got streaming networks, I'm pretty sure it's on one of them. Check it out. It's definitely worth it. Once again, we're talking about a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you got to check it out, Part 14. Now, I know y'all seen this on y'all Netflix, but you always kind of skipped over it because you thought it was lame or some bullshit. But this movie actually dope, man. The way that it's told through 3 different point of views, it comes together so perfectly in the end. I'm glad I stuck with it, because now this is also in one of my new top 10 favorite horror movies. So I suggest you check it out. We're talking about Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is a 2007 American anthology horror comedy written and directed by Michael Dougherty. The film is framed by Halloween night in the fictional town of Warren Valley, Ohio. The plot follows a set of characters crossing paths throughout the film. At the center of the story is Sam, a peculiar trick-or-treater in a burlap pajama costume who appears to enforce the rules of Halloween. Like I said, this film is shot from 3 different perspectives, and each one of them is written beautifully. When I say the horror and the comedy mixes together so good, you actually forget it's a horror comedy. And sometimes you want to laugh, sometimes you want to be like, what the fuck? The effects that they used in this movie were done so perfectly. You just got to watch it for yourself. You know, it draws you in. There's never really a dull part in the movie, even when they're setting up for the scares or setting up for the next one. It's never really a downtime inside that movie. But the real golden egg in this movie is Sam. He never talks, but he's always just watching, you know? And at the end, when he is finally revealed, that shit really had me like, whoa. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Check it out. Once again, we're talking about a scary movie you probably ain't never heard of, but you got to check it out, Part 15. It takes a lot for a scary movie to have me disturbed, okay? Because I can watch a lot of different scary movies, man, but it's one movie that I seen recently that really just had me fucked up to the point where I had to keep looking away, man, because it was just so gory. I was like, damn, how did they pass MPAA with this? 2013's Evil Dead. Evil Dead is an American supernatural horror film directed by Fede Alvarez. The story follows a group of 5 people under attack by a supernatural entity in a remote cabin in the woods. Pretty much in a nutshell, the main character's little sister was going through withdrawals, so the friends decided to take her to a cabin in the woods to beat her withdrawal symptoms. And of course, while they're there, They come across some shit they shouldn't have no fucking business touching, and they touch it. And when you touch it, of course you know some crazy shit happened. But the people that made this made sure you don't get your money's worth. Oh, you want to be scared? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you some shit that make you a little comfortable. When I say when the scares start, they don't stop. That is a gory ass film. If you're squeamish, I advise you not to watch that. That movie will have you like, ugh, for real. A scene that really just got me just unsettled is when they locked her in the basement and she was like peeking through the floorboard. Oh no, man. And if you can look at me and tell me that you saw that movie and you wasn't scared, you are a damn lie. Don't lie to me. Most definitely check that movie out, man. It is The Road. Some movies are out here just to remind you that old people are scary as fuck. 2014's The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Mom! Fight him, Mom! Fight him!
The Taking of Deborah Logan is an American found-footage supernatural horror film which serves as the feature film directorial debut of Adam Robitel. Set in Virginia, it tells the story of a documentary crew filming about Alzheimer's patients who uncover something sinister while documenting a woman who has the disease. Like a lot of movies around that time, The Taking of Deborah Logan is actually a good movie, but didn't have a really good marketing ploy. You know, back then and now, the horror genre is saturated with a lot of cheesy ass movies. Y'all know that. So this one I think got lost amongst the cheesy movies. But I really think you should sit and watch this. When I say that lady throwed in that movie, it's some scenes that will remind you old people will scare the shit out of you come the right place and time now, for real. This is one of the movies that you just have to watch for your damn self to understand. I just want you to watch this one. And when you do, come back and let me know. Ladies, if one of your friends texts you and asks you to go cave diving with them, block that bitch. 2005's The Descent. The Descent is a 2005 British horror film written and directed by Neil Marshall. The film follows 6 women who enter a cave system and struggle to survive against humanoid creatures inside. I'm not gonna lie, The Descent is a really popular movie. If you haven't heard of it, I don't know where the hell you've been. But it's a great movie, a great plot, and one of the scariest jump scares of all time if you ask me. Plus Juno fine as hell. But the makeup that was done to make the humanoid creatures really what makes it dope, you know. The second isn't done as good as the first one, and I hate that because the second one did have a good plot as well. But the first one is really the better, you know. They couldn't top that first one. The way that it was led from the beginning all the way throughout the movie is dope as hell. Now, it does have 2 different endings, but I don't want to spoil either one because I really want you to watch this movie like I do all these movies, you know? But anyway, check it out. It's dope as hell. To this day, if you put me in a room with a fucking ventriloquist doll, I'm not gonna be in there long. Dead silence. Dead Silence is a 2007 American supernatural horror film directed by James Wan. The film stars Jamie Asher, a young widower returning to his hometown to search for answers to his wife's death. I'm not gonna lie, I am a huge fan of James Wan. That man can produce some crazy ass films, and y'all know I love horror movies. So to see him team up and do a movie about a damn ventriloquist doll, knew I was gonna watch that. I'm not gonna lie, the whole tone and atmosphere of that movie is top tier. How the plot is told and the overall just dark theme of the movie, I love it. I love dark movies. You know, those are the ones that really just keep you captivated inside the whole film. And the scares, beautiful. Even though you don't see that many of the dolls, when they finally showed that entire wall, that shit is creepy. Now don't get me wrong, the scares are actually great. But if they put some more into the dolls, then that would have made it just scary as hell. But, you know, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? What amazes me is a lot of people don't know that Chucky has been rebooted. And I don't really blame you guys, because after Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, it kind of went in a comedy route that didn't pay off the way it was supposed to. So the director Don Mancini decided to go back to his roots and bring it back to a much more darker tone. And it started with Curse of Chucky. Now, Curse of Chucky was dope as hell. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you watch it, because when he brought Chucky back, oh, Chucky was not playing this time. It has some of the most goriest kills out the entire franchise. They brought back the original actor who played Andy Barclay in Child's Play 1 and 2, Alex Vincent. And they also brought back Kyle from Child's Play 2. You can tell he took his time with it and he wanted to go back to his original scares. And I'm glad that he actually did that. And it's a great addition to the Child's Play franchise. You guys should check it out. Let me tell y'all something, bro. Back in 2007, when Paranormal Activity dropped, it wasn't a person on this earth who didn't find that movie scary as hell, bro. You just had to be inside the room with somebody who watched that shit for the first time, because, you know, back then, the found footage thing was still kind of new. The only other film that really did that was Blair Witch Project. One of the biggest found footage films of all time. But Paranormal Activity, oh, they took that shit to a whole new level. They didn't even have a big budget. But see, they made millions because they did something that was never really done before. I wish I could go back to when I first seen that movie for the first time, and the little paranormal shit got to happen, and you started seeing shit in the corner of the damn room and shit. My son was 2 years old at the time. We was all sitting as a family watching this movie. Why I'm watching this movie with my young son, I do not know. But y'all know I like horror movies, so, you know, my son is like me. We sitting there watching. And, you know, back then, you know, when it got to nighttime, you really had to sit and look around the screen to see what new was happening in the room. And I don't know what the fuck he saw. But my son stood up, backed away a little bit, and took off out the room. I don't know what the fuck did he see. To this day, I don't know what the hell he saw. But that told me, if you can scare the shit out of a 2-year-old child by barely showing him anything at all, that's horror. In my opinion, what makes a great horror movie is delivery. Relying on jump scares is an easy but really a cheap way to scare the hell out of people. But if you can show a scene that makes people actively want to look away while watching it, then you have really captured the fear in someone. And in my opinion, one movie that has done that for me is Evil Dead Rise. Once again, one person fucks up and touches something they shouldn't have no business touching and mess it up for everybody. And when they do, they unleash a horror that is so fucked up, it will leave you disturbed. It is some scenes in there that will really have you fidgeting around in your damn seat. Especially the scene where the aunt catches the niece in the kitchen eating that glass cup, and you can see the shards slide down her throat. Man, I'm telling you. The way they do the makeup to make the mom look so demented is absolutely amazing. She's scary as hell without even talking, man. And what makes the movie worse is knowing that this little girl is witnessing all of this, seeing her siblings and her parent die. Yeah, she ain't gonna be the same after this one. So if you are tired of those cheesy, campy ass movies and you want to see some real horror, I suggest you pop that one in. But make sure you watch some cartoons after that movie. You're gonna need it.